Okay, so I guess we can get started. Now that it's 8:04. 8:04.
Only 30 minutes behind.
We're only 30 minutes behind. We're good. We're cruising today. So I guess since this is the first official session of the new campaign, y'all are going to introduce your characters while we play. So do you want to just say your real human names and a fun fact about yourselves?
This is weird.
You're welcome. Davis, this is because we're streaming.
Yeah. Well, my name's Davis because we're streaming. And my fun fact is it's my stream.
It's a good fact. It's a good fact.
So not many people would know that I am jazz trombone.
Yeah, nobody would. It's in fact very unclear.
Yeah. It's really hard by my branding. And my blanket here has a little fox head hat.
Oh, well, that's super fun.
Say who you're playing to.
You can say the name of your character, but we will be describing them shortly. So,
it's underneath
who are
me.
you?
Pointing.
Name?
I'm pointing.
You can't just say it. You can't just say it.
It's Hank, but I'm pointing.
Thank you.
Hank or Hank?
Hank.
Hank.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like the cow dog.
I was just gonna say that, but I didn't want to say that.
Our child.
Do you know what would be really funny? Thinking about your name for a second.
What?
If every time you found a new piece of like trash with a letter on it, you kept changing your name.
I love it.
You're like, I'm Hank now, and then you find like half of a Sephora bag, and you're like, I am Seth.
That's awesome.
I love that,
Okay.
and I might have to find a way to work that in.
No one knows your name.
Yeah, because right now it's Hank because you found one of those plastic bags that says "Thank you,"
And it's all warped, so it just says Hank.
It's ripped. So yes, this is good content.
That's a good
This
idea.
is why we play D&D, to make shit up as we go.
I support this.
Next person, whoever wants to go.
I'll go. I'm Christine. I'm playing Dega. Fun fact, I have a lot of dogs.
It's true. She does. They show up on streams a lot. It's a good time.
There's at least 8 in this room at this time.
I'm surprised we're not seeing any right now. Like that's
I know,
they're-
honestly.
They're below.
Oh, there's
Oh
one
yeah,
there.
no, yeah, there's
There's a little one.
one in the hallway.
Yep.
They mostly are under the desk.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Okay. Kobe.
Whoop.
Whoa.
I'm Kobe. I play Boreas. And my fun fact is I'm not related to anyone.
Hey. Not a sibling.
Yes, correct.
Does it feel great?
I'm sure it does. Who would want to be related to us?
Yeah.
Terrible people.
We're honestly the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't be helped.
No comment.
That's a smart
I had
move.
a
That's a
sibling.
smart
I don't
move.
really know at all.
Abstain from commenting.
The way to go. Okay, well, let's get started then. So, welcome back, everyone, to the world of Tiomara.
Woo!
Let's just jump right into it. So, after the events of Campaign 1, the goddesses made the choice to fully step back from the world to rebuild their relationship, and as such has had minimal effects on the development of the world since then. There were many years of rebuilding, dealing with the damage done by Avandra, recreating their social structures, and propelling the world into a golden age of exploration and discovery. We are now 100 years after the finale of the last campaign, and there have been many advancements in technology and knowledge of the land. Among these discoveries is that there are lands far beyond the coastal waters of Avela and Vilfea. Because of this, there have been many expeditions sent out to learn more about the islands, map the territories, and make contact with new civilizations. There's also been much learned about magic, and a recent discovery has shown that there are portals connected to some of the islands leading to lands further than any normal boat can travel, offering rapid movement between the land masses of Tiomara. Through deep archaeological data, it appears that at one point the world was all one island, which broke apart before the advent of civilization. However, many of these lands are still connected by this ancient magic. Our crew will be a part of the next expedition, sponsored by the Chaplain family, a wealthy family eager to learn more about the world and make connections with new lands. Their goal is to be the first to map the various portal points and discover how they are created, to potentially create more and revolutionize the travel industry and become one of the most influential families in the world.
Yeah.
Woo! So, that's my summary.
Nice.
So, we begin in the city of Potfar. What used to be a small fishing village has blossomed into an enormous port city with docks spanning as far as you can see. The ships vary from small schooners to impressive galleons, and the city is bustling with people of all shapes and sizes. There are shops lining the street with people calling out their wares, and smells of food and fish intermingle as you walk through the city. In the center of the city is an incredible fountain with the statue of Tabaxi, an elf, and a tiefling, all astride an enormous unicorn whose horn is emitting the water. They appear to be some sort of members of Tiomara history, but meh. Anyway, we zoom in on a particular berth in the dock, where a sizable clipper is sitting. Along its side, in beautiful gilded letters, is the word Prometheus. And there's a crew moving about, quickly loading cargo, securing the sails, and preparing to launch, as the captain strides back and forth, calling out instructions in quick succession. So, each of you will introduce your character and kind of say what they would be doing as you're getting ready to set sail.
We're already on the ship, or we're boarding the ship?
It's up to you guys, wherever you want to be at this point. The ship is getting ready to leave. You guys can be wherever you would like to be. Whoever wants to.
I was going to say, who's starting? Who's starting this?
I don't have
I'll go first.
Okay, Kobe's starting.
Roll for initiative.
So on the pier still, floating about on little wings, there is a little round owl that kind of looks like that owl Pokemon.
Yes.
The new owl one?
Owlet.
Oh, not the new one.
new?
Not the new one. In my mind, it's still new.
The roundy one.
Yeah,
Right.
the owl.
The
Yeah,
round kind of greenish brown one.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
New to me.
They're maybe like a foot and a half tall at the most. And the same for their width. They're just very round and fluffy. Yes.
Amazing.
They flutter about nervously around crew members who are packing their boxes into the boat and making sure they aren't ruining their special fragile items and books, and is helicopter momming so badly that the workers look slightly annoyed by this. Is it a he? No, it's a she. She's smaller. She's like a foot. She's kind of tiny. She has just like light brown feathers and then a little white spot. Kind of has like the barn owl face.
Yes.
With like lit eyes and then the little just like smaller eyes and smaller beak. As she's flying about, she does have a little like a half cape that's over one shoulder that would probably just be somebody's bandana. And attached to on it is a little black little black like opal brooch, which is what their spell casting thing is.
Oh yes.
And they are like checking their items like 3 or 4 times, just kind of flying back. As long as the boat hasn't left yet, they're gonna keep checking that all of their stuff is actually getting put onto the boat.
So as you flit about, kind of getting in the way of crewmates as they're trying to get work done, but moving so quickly that they don't get a chance to yell at you for this and instead just become frustrated. You see a similar situation occurring as this tall, thin, very just frumpy looking elven man begins to follow a group of people lifting his very fancy boxes and telescopes and various nautical equipment and carrying it into the berth. And he's just like, oh, please don't drop it, don't drop it. And then he seems to notice you, and he's like just kind of nods in solidarity, and then continues to move onwards.
You said he had a telescope.
Yes.
I'm going to, when he's not looking, I'm gonna like float over and then stick my face in his telescope to see how nice of a telescope it is.
Oh my word! Excuse me. Please refrain from touching my telescope, please.
I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it.
But you're very close to touching it, and that's honestly the same thing. If you could just take 3 steps backwards, that would be wonderful.
I'm not touching the floor either, so I can't take any steps.
3 flaps backwards? I don't know how to respond to that.
I'm just looking. Is this for
3 feet of space?
Is it looking? You and my telescope? Looking at stars? Is it a star? Is it for stars?
No.
Oh.
Can at this
yes,
moment
also no. Yes, you can come in at this moment.
Okay, can at this moment I just zoom in and accidentally knock over the telescope and then continue going like I don't stop because I'm running from someone?
Absolutely yes.
Okay.
He screams like a high-pitched scream, like
I just keep scurrying away.
Leaps forward to address his poor telescope, yelling about the ruffians and the fiends who work on this ship need to be more careful. And that is a perfect transition into what is chasing you.
What is chasing me? Great question. What is going to chase me is going to be some previously unfavorable friends. And I say friends loosely. It was like the thugs of the local area, basically. I was trying to join their group, sort of, and then decided that was not a great idea, and instead stole some of their shit, and decided to go on this adventure spontaneously and very quickly. Jumped on the first vessel, which was this one, so scurried up the gangplank, knocked over the guy's telescope, and continued until like there's barrels or like something to like hide behind, and I crouch behind it. Okay. And peek over the railing to make sure that they passed the ship and don't notice me.
So you see as you peek over the edge of the ship a group of like 4 or 5 just hulking, muscle-bound gang members being led by like this tiny little gnome who's just like pounding his little fists together and just like yelling your name. But I'm assuming did you use your real name or did you use an alias?
They didn't know my name, yeah. Not my real name.
So they're just yelling, "Little rabbit, come out wherever you are!" As
they like cut down my ears so they don't pop up over the barrel.
And they're just searching through every ship. They stop at like the berth next door and are like literally like getting on their ship and like throwing things around.
And they're like, we need to go. This one needs to go. When are we leaving? Maybe I run and look for the captain and I bump into Davis's character asking when the ship is leaving. Is it now? Are we leaving now?
Perfection. So you're running by, and I'm gonna say you're like zipping by, trying to like find somebody of import, and you feel claws snatch into your collar and kind of like lift you up a little. And the captain, who is barely like 5 feet tall, but she is a
Taller than
tabaxi
me.
cat, lifts you up and is like, I do not recall adding you onto my ship's crew. Who
I'd like to
are
join
you?
the crew, ma'am. I'm a
And
hard worker. I'm pretty small, but don't let that be a problem. I give great massages.
that is, she seems taken aback by that response.
Entirely useless.
Are what have you been on a boat before?
No, but I work hard, and also I should mention I'm a good fighter. Says the tiny bunny.
She just nods skeptically and sets you back down, and it's like, okay, so this is an very official vessel heading out on a very important mission, and I did not plan for another mouth.
Is this a no?
Correct.
Got it. So I turn and start walking away and wait for her to not be looking and dart behind barrels again.
She watches you very closely up until you reach kind of where the plank is, and then she turns around and gets distracted by somebody else, causing problems.
Nice.
And then can you roll me a stealth check?
I was like, you're gonna make me roll something.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Stealth. +2 stealth, please.
Gotta roll something in this.
13?
Davis, will you roll a perception check,
A
please?
perception? Okay. I got a nat 20.
Jesus.
So you immediately clock
I gotta
this.
bribe this robot now?
Yeah, so I'm just over like helping lift some things, dealing with the guy's telescope issue and all this other stuff, and you just see this hulking 6'6" like machine made of just cobbled together random things that you could find in the sea, just random metals, plastics, wood, all of it just kind of. Well, yeah, I'm very tall compared to everybody. I've just learned.
Yes, you
But
are.
I'm like, I come over and I'm reassuring this guy like, hey, no, we got the best crew. I promise you. Like, you're really not in any bad hands.
I hope not, because the only reason I am on this voyage is to get college credit.
Well,
Fair.
I don't know how to respond to that, sir.
It seems like a waste if everything were to be destroyed.
Again, trust me. We have the top crew you've ever met. I trust every single one of these people with my life, even the ones I have not met yet.
I would like you to talk a little more robotically.
Wait,
I
let me fix your. I can fix. And I'll cast. It's a cantrip, and it says it can fix things.
Yes.
Oh, man,
as long
yeah.
as- So basically, what happened is all that happened was the lens cracked. So absolutely, a mending cantrip can take care of that. And as you do, he looks at you and is like, "Thank you. I don't know why I didn't think of doing that myself. I too have that cantrip.
Don't worry, sir. Sometimes in crisis,
you.
you
At
get
least
confused.
You seem pretty stupid. I mean,
And that's exactly what I clock you.
He whips his hat around and is like, "Excuse me? I am one of the top research scientists at the university working on my 4th PhD.
Oh,
I can tell.
How dare you?"
That's why you brought a telescope without a lens cover.
He just like shudders and grabs his telescope and stomps away.
He seems nice. He seems
nice.
Seems nice. I do not remember
Yes.
you on the crew, though. Looking at Christine's character.
I knew.
New crew members normally get run by me.
Oh, shit. I want to be new.
Ah, I see. Have you talked to the captain?
No. Yes. Wait. And I pull a wanted ad poster. for back when you guys were advertising for crew, even though you have a full crew now. It's like, I'm a little late, but I'm here for this.
Ah, I see. Those ads should have been taken down. That is on us. I will go talk to the captain for you.
Could you put in a good word?
I mean, you seem to know your stuff about telescopes, so that bodes well.
It could be useful, I promise.
We'll see.
And I don't eat much, I'm small. I brought my own carrots.
You just take a big bite.
You reach into one of our barrels. But we'll have to resolve this quick, as it is almost time for departure.
Are we departing now, maybe?
As you say this, the plank leading, or the last box is carried aboard by one of your crewmates, and the plank is pulled up. And the ship begins to rock a little bit in its berth as the sails become unfurled.
I'm visibly thrilled.
So, as it gets started, the captain yells out, Hank, are we ready to begin? Are we ready to set sail?
All
Is
system.
everything ready?
Everything is on board and looking good, Captain. Also, I think we have a stowaway.
When he turned to
Technically.
respond to her, I ducked away and ran around the other side of the ship.
I do not see what you refer to, Hank. Is there something on your lens?
Let me check.
Like, where?
I rub away some smudges.
Do you see it now?
Oh, you have a lens too.
Do you see it now?
I guess I gotta make a check for that.
Yep. You're seeing you make another stealth?
God darn it.
What'd you
9.
do? I got a 12, so I just... Captain, over there, it was potential crew member, so technically not necessarily a stowaway, but
And
technically
just as you say
a
this,
stowaway by the
the
legal
boat jerks
definition.
Just as you say this, the boat jerks and flies out of the berth as the sail catches wind from the druids on the ship who had thought they heard the captain yell, "Are we ready to go?" And you respond, "Yes." So they were like, "Okay, cool," and immediately got to work casting a gust of wind and propelling the boat forward. The captain kind of puts her hand over her face and is like, "Well, shit. Do we have a lifeboat we can send this one off in? Because, like, honestly, we don't have a need of her."
Should we roll for lifeboat? See if we pack one.
Wait, this boat doesn't... Oh, excuse me. There's no lifeboat on this boat? Wait.
Feels like a safety violation.
I secured it myself.
There are... No
There's
one,
only one?
screw it. It's a tiny little rabbit. What can it do?
Yeah.
I walk over to you and go, "Congratulations, you are now part of the crew."
Yes. And you hear the
Don't regret
distance,
this.
"Bunny!" And then you see the gnome shaking.
And I
his
wave
little
goodbye.
Look, your friends are waving bon voyage on shore.
Oh, yep. Friends, yep. Bye.
Oh, okay. Well, off we go then. I guess our new Hank, will you take the new members of the crew and show them around so that they don't get underfoot as we make way?
Will do, Captain.
Wonderful. So, Hank, you begin to lead them on a tour of the ship, starting at the back of the ship with the captain's quarters. You just kind of gesture at the place below the big wheel that controls the direction of the ship, you know, and say and inform them that is in fact the captain's quarters. And this is actually a very interesting ship in that it's relatively sleek and smooth on the outside, but on the inside, it seems like there's a little bit more space than there should be. As you head below decks, there is a recreation area where some of your crewmates are getting their exercise in on various workout equipment, and there's ping pong tables and things to just enjoy themselves. And below that is the or next to that, across the way from that, is the gunner's launch, essentially where most of the weaponry is stored. And if you had paid close attention in the recreation area, you would see, in fact, that there are multiple cannons set in there as well, as it is directly opposite of the gunner's launch. And below that is the rowing stations, and you inform the crewmates that everyone participates when rowing is required to propel the boat. Even your smallest members must participate.
I flex my muscles. Tiny buddy muscles.
I just pat on the head.
Wait, is that only crew, or am I going to do it?
All crew, including anyone on the boat, must row if necessary.
But I don't have fingers.
We will find a way.
I sit on top of one of the oars
and as I've heard quoted before, life finds a way.
You show the last two rooms downstairs, the cargo hold where foodstuffs and everything is stored for your adventure, and finally the crew quarters, which is broken up into many small rooms, each set for 3 people. Each room is quite homey, with 3 bunks and a dresser and a desk. Think kind of like a college dorm room. There are small windows, and but as you closely look at them, they appear to be artificer made, as they don't actually show you what you would be seeing at this point, which is water. They show you just a beautiful sunny sky, just like the sky you saw before you went below decks. And as you walk back up to the top, you remember, or the top of the deck, you remember the final room, which is across from the captain's quarters. There is another room with gorgeous windows along the whole back wall, and in this room is the navigator's area, where the disgruntled wizard is slowly setting up his now repaired telescope, and he turns to you and glares at Daga with just utter hatred.
Just don't make eye contact and keep looking around.
And if you would refrain from being present in my quarters, that would be wonderful.
This is
and
your quarters, huh?
Yeah, yes, I am in fact the most vital member of this crew, the navigator, who's going to essentially allow us to plot a course and then, record our information. And I've recently learned that you, Boris, are to be my sort of assistant in this plotting of our course and creating of the much needed map.
That's great and all, but you can't be the most important because you don't know how to drive the boat. So we would have never actually left.
I do, in fact, know how to drive a boat. I was captain of my sailing team in high school.
He's a captain, too.
Not the correct type of captain.
Wonderful,
You better
wonderful.
watch out for
So after you have been shown around, you guys can kind of make yourself at home. What do you think your characters would be up to on this first day of travel?
I am checking every sort of thing on the ship, making sure everything's ship shape, looking good as we're sailing, because you never know if something might just go wrong right after you get off dock. Making sure every rope is tied, all the sail stuff looks good, checking in with the captain here and there.
Give me an investigation check.
That is a 15.
As you traverse the deck, checking all the railings, making sure that all the ropes are secured, you find that one of the largest sails, the rope, It was not tied, secured tightly.
I gotta resecure that.
Of course, of course. Give me a dexterity check.
I think I need to let Sheldon out. You're back.
18.
You are able to successfully tie a new knot. And as you do, the crew member who originally tied that kind of walks by and is like, "Hey, Hank."
Hello.
Sorry about that. I got distracted while we were securing everything. It won't happen again, I promise.
Just keep working hard. We may have to go over not tying basics 101 again, but you have to make sure to focus as you're tying your knots.
I guess so.
But I will not let the captain know. Do not worry.
Oh, you're the best, Hank.
It's what I'm here for.
Wander off. At that, the captain, as you turn around, the captain is standing there with her arms crossed, and she's like, "And you were not going to tell me what, Hank?"
About this beautifully tied knot.
Roll a deception check.
Nat 1.
She arches an eyebrow, looks at you. Hank, I know we've talked about your need to protect the crew and how that is in fact like one of the reasons you were created was to create such a wonderful environment for the crew. But also, you are not supposed to lie to your captain. That should be inherent in your programming. I'm not sure what went wrong there. But come on, man.
It is because it will be handled. Don't worry, basic training for not tying 101 will be submitted.
I mean, of course, that is the basic response, but you do in fact need to tell your captain as well.
Understood.
Thank you. And she walks off and continues along her way. Dago, what are you getting up to as the ship leaves berth for the first time?
I am utilizing my small size and very sensitive ears to avoid any and all work.
So various members of the crew see you sneaking around, and they're just like, oh, what do you need something to do?
I've already got a task. It's important for the captain. Be back.
Okay, and you just
I just walk away before they acknowledge me, and then I use my hearing to hear a place where nobody is, and I go there, and then I hear someone coming, and I pretend to be busy, and I do that the entire day.
So as this boat heads out, the waves are not as smooth as you anticipated. This is your first time on a major voyage. Can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Rude. Sure can. There it is. 8.
So you, as you're walking around, avoiding work and doing your best to do as little as possible while still remaining part of this crew, you begin to feel a little nauseous, and you feel the ground moving beneath you, and this is very different from the home you left originally, and you feel
I'd never even been in a rowboat before.
Begin to overtake you. How do you respond?
You said I'm sick?
You feel nauseous.
I respond by trying to settle my stomach with a carrot.
Okay. As you chomp on this carrot, your face turns completely green. And you realize this is probably the wrong decision.
That checks out.
And so what do you do?
I vomit over the side of the deck. And I no longer like carrots. They sound terrible to me whenever I see one. I feel sick immediately.
As you continue to vomit over the side, the captain clocks this from above the deck, and
why'd she so observant?
Cause she's a freaking cat, baby.
There, I guess that checks out.
And she places a hand on your shoulder and is like, First time on a boat, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Is that obvious?
Yes, just a little bit. Let's see if we can help you with that. And you feel this like a tingle on your shoulder where her hand touches you, and a warmth kind of spread through you. And she has cast some sort of spell on you. But all of a sudden you no longer feel nauseous. You no longer feel sick, and you feel actually a million times better.
But I still don't like carrots.
Probably, yeah.
Excellent.
And she looks at you and is like, now, we need you to do some important work.
Oh,
And she leads you
word.
down. Yes, it's quite vital to the survival of everyone on the ship.
Got it.
She leads you down to the kitchens and points to a pile of potatoes and is like, I need you to help our cook prepare a meal for tonight, and one of the things we will be having is mashed potatoes, and we need about 40 of these peeled. If you can get
Oh.
started on that, that would be wonderful. And then she walks away.
And I like hold out my little hands and I look around for a stool.
There is absolutely a little three-legged stool for you to sit on as you begin peeling these
Scoot it over
potatoes.
and stand on it and get to peeling. I only do it because I haven't done anything else all day. I can do one thing.
And it's vitally important.
Vitally important.
Incredible.
Eating is important. I do agree with eating. Most
Of
important.
course. So, Boreas, you are currently around the ship, kind of getting the feel for things. What do you get up to as on this first day of voyaging?
I am going to be on top deck, and I'm just going to be flying between each of the masts, and kind of eyeing everyone and like asking myself how this many people are needed to fly a boat.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I'm like the guy in the crow's nest, because I keep like kind of like going near him. I'm like, oh sorry, excuse me.
Eventually, he just kind of waves, and he's like, do you want to sit down? You're welcome up here.
Hold on, you just froze on my end.
Oh no. Am I alive again?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
You were saying something.
Yeah, the guy in the crow's nest just kind of waves. It's this really old half-elf man who looks to you and is waving. He's like, hey, do you wanna take a break? I've got some nuts. I'm eating up here, snacking on. You wanna share some nuts?
I
specifically almonds. They're really good.
I flutter over and land on his head.
He kind of like, ooh, because this is not a strong man. He is very skinny and old.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna keep your head warm. It's colder up here, Ian. It's cold when you're higher up.
It is. That it is. That's why I stay up here. I run hot.
Oh. I'll land on the ledge, and then I'm like, you can have your nuts, but can I ask you a few questions? And then I'm gonna bother this man with so many questions.
Of course, yes. What kind of questions?
Why does that man keep walking back and forth? Why do you have a robot in the water when robots can short circuit over water?
That's the first mate. He was specifically designed to run this boat to a T. They're very light. They're made of recycled plastics and metals, so they are less likely to sink, and technically they're magic, so like won't get electrocuted.
They're just
Oh.
magic.
It's magic. It's magic, my friend.
Are you gonna be working if you're in the crow's nest all the time? Are you gonna be working with the navigator?
No. I just watch the weather and see if there's things coming.
Oh, wait, here you go. Watch this. And then I have this cantrip called Druid Spell.
Uh-huh.
And it says, I can create a harmless sensory effect that predicts the weather will be at your location for the next 24 hours.
Perfection.
Nice.
Will you roll a D100 for me?
Okay. I don't wanna.
You're about to set the
I was
weather
gonna
in
have
stone.
you do this anyway, so it worked out perfectly.
I don't trust when you ask me to roll D100s. 44.
44. Let's see. So the image you project shows beautiful blue skies with the sun lightly coated by just a couple of clouds, keeping it nice and clear but cool as for the next 24 hours as your spell has predicted. It basically reflects the exact weather they're having right now.
See, isn't that cool? But I also don't know. Is it going to be the weather that's specifically here in this latitude and longitude? Because we're going to be out of this spot in about 5 seconds. So I don't know what's going to happen after that.
Interesting point. I was gonna say I'm about to be out of a job and you shouldn't tell anyone you have this skill, but you just made it moot, which is wonderful.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, so as you guys travel along for the first day, you begin in the distance to see an island starting to slowly, ever so slightly coming to view. And as this happens, you also notice off to the port side another ship has suddenly appeared and is moving towards you at a quite fast clip. How do you respond?
Well, who sees the ship?
All of you. It's very, very large ship.
I would like to look for a flag to denote where this ship has come from.
Okay, give
as
me a
ships
perception.
have. 13.
You recognize the banner of this ship to be that of the... Oh, God, what did I make their names? Shit, where's the fantasy name generator?
It's okay, I did this like constantly too.
The Spectre family. Who you know to be a rival family to the family that you currently work for, the Chaplings. This is their immediate rival banner that is flying.
Then I will shout, Captain, Spectre banner on the whatever side of the boat. I didn't catch what side of the boat it was on.
Port side.
Port side.
The right or left?
Sighs and is like, oh, wonderful. I'm just... God, I hope it's not who I think it is. But we'll just keep going. Maybe
they're coming in fast, Captain.
Oh, fuck. And as you say this, they like pull up right next to you guys. And a plank is immediately thrown over. And you guys see these two elves. They're slightly different than the usual of you see. They appear to be more bluish in hue, with long, dark green hair, and they walk over. One is just like striding strongly and very confident, and the other one, they look like veritably identical. other than the fact that one is clearly works out and the other one is like wafer thin and just looks like a little bit more haggard as she stalks along behind her sister. So, as they approach, the person in the lead says, "Greetings! It's wonderful to see you. I'm Captain Carrotern. It's so I just saw your banner and we had to stop by and say hi. I think we're on the same kind of mission. What's up?" And she like reaches out her hand for both you and the captain to shake hands.
I'll just say, what is the true purpose of this boarding? Where are documents for any sort of transaction like this? It is improper to just randomly dock with another vessel.
She looks taken aback and very apologetic. And she's like, "Oh, why? I didn't think. I thought a meeting among friends was what was occurring here. I did not realize we were in breach of protocol. It shall never happen again. I just wanted to introduce myself because I figured we might be on the same waters in the future."
Very good. And then I'll reach out my hand to shake.
Okay, and she shakes your hand. She's like, "This is my sister, Ianthe. She's my first mate and loyal companion." And Ianthe just kind of glares at you and crosses her arms. It just looks very, very uncomfortable with the situation. And Kara turns to the captain and is like, "It's just so wonderful to meet you. And I've heard so much about you." And she's like, "Oh, yes, and I you. This is a great meeting. What are you guys up to?" She's like, "Well, we've already been on a journey here, you see. We've already mapped out the first 2 portal points. we're after that second one, it was a little rough. So we had to come back and get some more supplies. But now we're ready to head back out and make this thing happen, you know?" And your captain's just like, "Oh, of course you have. Wonderful. This is a good time. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Please enjoy your trip." And she like gestures to the plank they used to cross over.
Get off.
And Kara's like, "Oh, well, yes, of course. I wouldn't want to delay you any further. Wouldn't want you falling further behind us." And she like elbows her, like jokingly, and begins walking across. And as she does, her sister Ianthe just turns and like does like the devil eyes at your crew and like walks backwards for a little bit at the plank and then like takes out a knife from seemingly nowhere and like scrapes it along one of the railings, shoves it back into her pocket, and sneaks off the ship after her sister.
I think she did that on purpose.
Yeah, think.
Oh. And so,
shall I prepare the cannons?
Your captain turns to you and is just like, "I want to say no. I mean, I want to say yes, but I know the correct answer is in fact no. So I guess we'll leave it for now. And hopefully we will not have to interact with them ever again. That would
be great.
Yeah. So we just need to speed up." She like turns and she's like, "Guys, those of you doing the gust of wind, can we make it bigger and better?"
You heard the captain. More gust.
She's like, "If you need, I can take a shift too. Got that spell on lock, but like we need to go."
I'd also like to pull out a little bit of sandpaper, the good grit, and kind of buff that out. That little
perfection.
Gotta keep the ship good.
You got it. So the ship begins moving again, and slowly this island begins to appear in front of you and grow in size. Wow, this is really good description.
Yeah.
My part.
Wow, you're really painting that word picture.
I'm so good. And you see a very large island in kind of a crescent shape. And as you move closer and closer, you realize that the sunlight is hitting it weird. Like it seems, and you don't notice any like foliage really. Like there's a couple sparse areas of trees, but for the most part, it seems to be just kind of this dark rock that seems to gleam in the sunlight. And as you begin to make your way to the northern part of the island, you see that the island is made up entirely of obsidian stone, which is a very valuable stone in this world. Stuff. And there are a number of factories you can see actively pushing out smoke and billowing work. And you see people like hanging off the sides of the place, just kind of like chipping at it and putting it into buckets and then sending it up. And there's like this
what kind of people?
All sorts of people.
All sorts.
Yeah.
Good cop out.
No particular.
Good cop
out. And yeah, so that's what you guys see. How do you react?
Am I still in the kitchen?
You have been allowed to come out of the kitchen as your potato peeling has finished.
Yay. So I've just taken off my apron and wiped the sweat off my little brow. I'm being a little dramatic for anyone who's watching.
Which no one is.
No one's watching.
No one is paying attention.
Because they're all busy.
Still being dramatic anyway. Okay, it was for me. And then I go to peek over the side. And I just notice all of the things that you described and go, that looks terrible. But better than being in the kitchen. So I go back and find a chair or something to sit on and we'll continue watching the people work.
So you're just kind of like, and you like, I feel like you just like pull out some sunglasses to put on and are just like sitting there cross-legged. So, you notice the ship is beginning to kind of pick up speed as you head to the northern side of the island. And you hear a call from the captain. Time to switch to manual power! Pull in the sails! And like everybody immediately jumps to work around you, grabbing ropes and tying things down, pulling the sails, reeling the sails in. Somebody like grabs you and hands you a rope as you sit there. And it's like, hold on to this. I need you to tie it to that thing over there, Dega. So, how do you respond?
I take the rope and say, tie it to what?
that rod over there. It needs to be tied down securely with a knot. A sailor knot.
Of all of the sailor knots, which particular knot that I know would you love me to use?
The sailor's knot.
Like
that's an
the
actual
main
knot.
Standard knot. All right, got it.
Like the basic one.
And I hop over to where he said, and I kind of look to see if there's any other knots I could observe to copy.
Give me an intelligence check.
Where? Oh, +0. That bodes well. 5.
You cannot figure out how to tie a knot.
So, is anyone around that I could get to do it for me?
I
Or is
mean,
it just me?
Sure, there are definitely people around. Most of them are busy doing things, but
Anyone close that looks susceptible to being talked into doing another person's job?
Hank, where are you at?
I'd probably be around there because I'm directing crew, making sure knots are checking over knots, making sure they're secure, and all that good stuff that
I
a good first mate would do.
And wave him down.
I walk over.
Hank, Hank, I just wanted to alert you that this knot has been improperly tied, and I have no idea who's done it. But I believe that you should look it over and probably address it immediately and tie it correctly.
I see the problem is you have not tied it. Can you tie it?
I just saw someone else tie it poorly, and I'm just holding it. I need you to tie it now.
But are you not sufficient in tying?
I am, but I do believe that this requires a more professional type of knot than I'm familiar with.
Here, let me show you how to tie these knots, as you will most likely need to tie them in the future. And I start explaining in very long form, as well as very slow motions, because I got to make sure all the crew is knows what they're doing. And I'll tie it, and then untie it, then tie it, untie it, hand you the rope, and say, "You see how easy it is? Can you you tie it now, and I shall see how it is."
Yes. Did I learn from that? Can I tie it?
Make an intelligence check with advantage.
No. Oh, it was almost a 19, and then I rolled into a 3. 16, okay.
Okay, with a 16, you can make a passable knot. It's not the tightest knot, but it's functional.
Do I leave and he reties it?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, 100%. Okay. I tell you, great job, and that you did it.
Really satisfied
that knot will be satisfactory. Good job. And then as you're walking away, I just quickly untie it and retie it.
Oh, perfection. So Hank would probably know what all is about to happen. So you can be unsurprised by everything that's about to happen. But the captain calls out orders to dock the ship, and a lot of you are like, fuck, like, we're in the middle of the ocean, there ain't no dock.
You heard the captain, dock the ship.
And those of the crew who are knowledgeable about this portion of the journey immediately jump to it, and you can see these few tendrils reaching up out of the ocean. They're like these dark tentacles, and you slowly back the ship, like beep beep beep, into these tentacles.
I'm making the noise. Beep beep.
And then
crow's nest.
I got a red light flashing.
And you guys feel a jerk as these tentacles latch on to the boat. And you see it has very much grasped the ship, and the captain turns to you all and is like, okay, so for those of you not in the know, mostly the three of you who have just recently joined this crew and have never taken a trip this way before, each portal has a different requirement for entry. For this particular portal to work, you have to be going really, really fast towards it. And she gestures to the solid black wall of obsidian rock. So you see there was a lot of trial and error that went into developing this particular method of travel, but and as she's saying this, you feel the ship go and it's like slowly backing up, and you can see the tentacles over the side stretching. She's like, took a lot of work. It works 98% of the time. But everybody needs to make sure everything on the deck is tied down, including yourselves, in the next 5 minutes, or things could get hairy. And so, yeah, how do you all respond?
Battening down the hatches, pretty plain and clear. Just ordering people around again.
I find a tiny corner under like stairs or something and squeeze into it. Because I'm terrified.
I'm flying around the crow's nest with my buddy, screaming.
And he just and he's like, it's okay, buddy. Calm down. You're gonna make it.
She's gonna sacrifice. Everyone needs a sacrifice. That's why she brought 3 new people. They all get killed at each portal.
No, I promise. I've been on this ship. I've been on this ride a number of times. You'll be absolutely fine. How about you come down? We're gonna climb down to the bottom because we don't want to be up here because sometimes bad things happen in the crow's nest. So we're gonna crawl all the way down to the ground, and then we're gonna tie ourselves to the mast. Okay?
Mast.
Make sure to secure all lifelines.
I'm like, you're a bird. You can fly.
That means I'm in the air already. That means bad things are gonna happen to me.
He just hands you a rope and is like, "I'll help you tie it around you in a harness fashion." Here,
In a harness
wrapping
fashion.
it around you, ties it really tight.
I look like a tetherball.
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
And you're tied to the mast. Everybody is secured at this point.
Yep. And do not worry, the last 98 ships were fine.
Yes, we just happen to be the 99th. Okay, here we go. Okay. And you feel a final and then she's like, "All right. 3, 2, hold on to your hats," and it launches flying forwards toward the rock wall. Like it feels like you were a football that just got launched by the strongest freaking quarterback in the world.
Oh my god.
Skidding across the top of the ice at such speed, and the rock is coming closer and closer and closer. And just as you are about to crash into it and begin to panic, a kind of haziness fills the air, this fog, and you feel the pressure to go like drop suddenly, and all of your ears pop. And then you are at a dead stop, no movement, nothing. And a pure empty ocean spreads out in front of you where an island used to be. And the captain calls out to the navigator. She's like, "Bartholomew, did it work? Where are we?" And he kind of holds up one of those like sextants and is like measuring where the sun is and like figuring things out. And he's like, "Yes, we are in a new place. We've done it." And so your guys' adventure has officially begun.
Crazy.
I love it.
That is
All my
what
hair
it
is standing on it.
It is. Oh, gotta love static.
What a good start.
Yes. So I tried to keep this one short because it's our first one.
That's a good one.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I like this crew. I think you guys are gonna have fun.
I do as well.